Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm GhostPrime, and I'll take a look at the Legacy United animated Bumblebee. This is Bumblebee updated for the style of a G1, sort of, at least. They couldn't fully do it, like the head is still exactly the same as animated. But I'm going to be going over this review, and I'm going to have a look at the other animated Bumblebees I have with this one and see how it holds up. I'm actually a fan of animated. I think it's really cool that the toys look like the show, and they did a really good job. And G1ifying to me is very weird. I would love to see like a masterpiece scale or something that maybe done like an updated version of the animated figures done how they're supposed to look on the show. I think that would be really cool. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this guy. Are you going to pick him up? And what repaints you think they could get out of him. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get to the review. And here we have animated Bumblebee in his package. Now, I really wish that they would have like put the plastic on here like they did for the Reactivate box. And he's really tiny in there. It's like I could reach in there and go, it's like, probably if I worked at it in the store, I could take them all the way out. You know, like even with my big hands. So I don't think this is a very secure way of boxing him up. There's a lot of space in there. It's a very big box for a very small figure. But we have the Legacy United logo, deluxe class. There he is in alt mode. It says Animated Universe Bumblebee. We got on the side here, nice rendering of his head, which actually I think looks really, really good. It kind of looks like the cartoon. It's that cartoon style, but I like the way it's rendered sort of more realistic, which has been a really cool way to actually do the figures. But yeah, I digress. There he is in his robot mode. On the other side, we have the package, or the I guess the poster for the Legacy United. It says 40 years, the animated Prime, Magmatron. Here we have on the back, Animated Universe Bumblebee, 22 steps into car mode, 40 years, Hasbro, and Legacy United on the top. So let's get this guy opened up and out of the package. Okay, once he's all out of the package, you will see he has a couple of these little stinger accessories. Now, what's interesting about this is it is actually painted blue and silver. As you can see kind of there, it's a translucent plastic. There is a female port right there, and a male port right there. They are interestingly painted blue. There's little nubs on the end of it right here. Can go into the bomb, which is also done in this translucent paint with a translucent clear plastic. And they could go like so. Plug into the back to make a kind of a makeshift stinger gun. And just go ahead and it'll port right there into his hand. See if I can get that in there. There we go. Into his hand like that. You could also take these, they come with two of them, and put it on the back with both of them. Like so. You leave that on or off. This is more appropriate, I guess, but there's no other real spot to put these. Besides his stinger mode, which I will show in a minute. After we look at the instruction booklet. So he does come with the instruction booklet. It's got this kind of orange red highlights and blue, and is quite large and is pretty good to show everybody exactly what he can do and how to transform him and all that. So let's get real close on the bot, real close. Get that head sculpt, which is pretty accurate to his animated head sculpt. They didn't really G1ify it too much, and I think Mark Marr said something about that they tried and it didn't look right. Moving on down, you got his clear chest piece. There's a lot of translucent plastic on him. As you can see, the whole back piece is all translucent. Crotch area, shins, feet, arms. It's got some nicely painted hubs, pinned wheels there. On the back, you see the 5mm ports with where these are snapped into. One thing we could do with these two pieces, they can push together to form one stinger piece. And you take the hands here, open that side panel up, rotate it in, and you get this little piece here, which is at an angle. And it's interesting that it's at an angle instead of, because there's no butterflies. If there was a butterfly articulation on his shoulders, then it could actually be a little bit more useful, I think. But it kind of holds it really awkwardly. So you have these two little posts on the side, on the back, I should say, and that actually pushes directly into there. So you have something that looks kind of like that, and you got to get his arm in this position on both arms, and then if you can get those kind of straight so you could plug this thing into both hands. So you could do the kind of the Bumblebee stinger weapon that he has there. All right, let's move into articulation before we do comparisons. His head is on a ball joint. You can look up, not really far down. Does do 360, but doesn't have, like, his chin hits the hinges there. He's got to kind of look back, so he can actually look up and then back, so you get a real far up, but no real down. The shoulder's kind of a weird one. He's got a couple hinges here, so he can move his shoulder out to there. Around, can't really do 360, only about up to there and back down to there. So there's not really a lot of shoulder movement. You get a little extra because of that hinge there. He's got a 90 at the elbow. Bicep swivel. No swivel on... Well, he does have swivel in the hands. I didn't think he had swivel in the hands. But he does have a wrist swivel, which is good. Waist swivel. Present. He has way over 90 at the knee. A little up on the foot. And so here's the ankle rocker, and it's weird. So you first think it only feels like it go like this, but you turn it around, what's happening is that it's actually hitting this piece right here. So if you move that out just a little bit, you get a much larger ankle rocker. So it's there, but it's not great. Forward, backward and out on the legs, pretty good. He does kind of have a waist crunch if you would move that out like this. Part of the transformation, but you could get him to have an ab crunch. So that's kind of cool that he could have an ab crunch just by doing some of the transformation. So let's get into comparisons. Now he is short. He is a very small figure. Actually, it was alarmingly small when I got him. Here he is next to the Legacy animated Prowl figure, so you can see he's very, very short, which I believe this is accurate. I don't think it has anything to do with cost cutting or anything like that. Well, maybe some, but it is accurate to the size, and Legacy has been, known for its accurate size portrayals. Here he is with the Netflix Bumblebee. So he's about the same size as him. Here he is with the original animated Bumblebee. So he's a lot smaller than the original animated Bumblebee is. Instead, he's about the same size as the Activator, which I believe was what, like maybe $5, $7 at the time. So yeah, he's about the same size as the animated Activator. Look at these three together. I mean, yeah, this one is G1ified, so he's going to have a little more angled parts rather than the rounded form of his animated brethren here. What I would have liked to have seen is a little bit like some of this here, like pinstriping or whatever on the crotch area would have been really nice to have. Or the legs are yellow, but they're black here. But it'd be nice to see some of that extra detail. Maybe some black line around the feet would be cool. Maybe something, just to bring it closer a little bit. But still, there are the three together. This one does have the bombs on the back, which this one pays homage to. Also, the line work on the crest on the head does pay homage to this one as well. Transformation is kind of cool on him because it does kind of follow the pattern of the original. I'm going to take these bombs off. And what I mean by the original is the cartoon and the original kind of flip and fold over. And this one is not an exception to that. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and move the fists back in, which is open these panels like I showed before, and then move this back in. Take the arms and actually, I don't need to close these panels. Move the arms in and up, and kind of like, just kind of fold just like this. Just kind of sit like that. So that is, open the panel, move it around, and get the panel flush with the wheel well. The front piece here opens up, concealing the head, and there's like this hinge in here, right in there. Also, I want to point out that I don't like this gap. So there, like when you have them in robot mode, have it all pegged together, there's a gap right there that is just, focus, I don't like. I don't like that gap at all. It just doesn't, it feels like it's going to break all this translucent plastic. So anyway, go back to transformation, move that all together like that, kind of line those pieces up. There's hinges here, here, and there on the shoulders. Move that out and down. Twist at the waist. Open the shins. Move these little knee pieces in that are completely unnecessary. Fold the feet up. Take this piece here, fold that all the way around, and line up the front panels. And then close that. Same thing on both sides. Now go ahead and tab those together, and then you fold them in on himself. Take the arms, move them like so. So you have actually the hinge pointed out. Hinges go back and into the slot here, and the hand fist things go around, and there's a tab that slides in on the underside. So same thing on the other side. Arm, back around, tab it on the other side. And then we want to take this piece on the top, move that down and around like that. And there's these tabs that go into the side, slide to the sides here. So like open that up, slot that in, either side. 2 tabs on the front, go into the hood, and then we have them in car mode. Let's zoom in a little closer so we can see car mode. We have a 5mm port right there and a 5mm port right there. And as you can see, it kind of shows up, there is actually window molded in, but they chose not to paint it here. And this black hinge, which would be really nice if it was yellow. It's got a big window, which is clear right there, showing some robot bits on the inside. And it's got, I like this. I think this is a nice detail that is clear for the little police siren. Clear front windshield. So it's a pretty nice silver paint app for the headlights. I like they painted the grille as well. Stripe is painted. Colors match. No back window. It is molded in, but there is no back window painted there. So maybe Toy Hacks could do that. And rolls pretty well. These bomb could go, or thrusters could go on the side. Peg right in there. Or they could peg in here, and they could have the stinger attached like so. Could also leave the stinger attached and have them pointed out back like that, but I just like it like that, kind of old school. And for quick comparison on size, there he is with the activator. So he is the animated activator's size, kind of all the way around, even in car mode. One thing that's really weird is this is a much more sleek looking car than this is. I think they tried to keep the animated look, but it's actually, the animated car is fairly close to like a compact car, like a real life version, and they could have just kept that. I think they could have kept the sleekness of it instead of making it look a little less sleek. I think they failed to make it look realistic. It's got bigger fenders. It just doesn't look as realistic as this car does. And here he is next to the original. See the size differences there on all 3 of them. One thing this does not have is any faux parts. So as the original, this was caused a big hell in the when this first came out, was that it had a faux chest piece that was this, and then this fixed that. It doesn't have a faux chest piece, that became the chest piece, and this still becomes the chest piece. So I think in that regard, it was done well. There he is from the front, side, rear. These don't hold on particularly well. Rear. See, they all have a rear window. Well, both of these have a rear window except for this one. So Toy Hacks definitely needs to step up, make some good stickers for it, and I will purchase them. So I don't have an Optimus Prime yet. It is coming from Hasbro Pulse. So let's get into the final thoughts. So I expected to really not like this guy. Actually, he's really cool. I like his transformation a whole lot. His transformation is really, really good for being such a small little figure. And there's a lot of translucent plastic, but they got a lot of paint on it to separate it up, so it's not just all just clear translucent plastic. That said, there is a lot of it. And it's this whole part right here that doesn't exactly secure super, super well. Does bother me because it's only that little piece right there that's holding that together, which could break because it's translucent plastic and that's what it has a tendency to do. The articulation's okay. Everything's pretty good for such a little figure. He is in scale with the other ones from the line. At least he's in scale with Animated Prowl, and he's the same size as the G1 Bumblebee. So in that regard, it does kind of pull up to the new deluxe scale that we see. So, you know, it's not a scale now, it's a engineering thing. And the engineering is okay on it. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to repaint this guy into. But if you see him for a good price, you know, I would say pick him up. He's a fun little figure. He's got some pretty cool transformation techniques. So anyway, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you getting to this far. And I'll see you in the next review.